All. This is the unboxing and review of a budget tablet from Samsung. This is the Samsung Galaxy Tab A9 Plus. This is the 8 gigs and 128 gigs of storage version. I'll explain in the video later why I've gone with this version. First part in this video is the unboxing and setup of this, and then I'll also come back to review this device. And I'll also be comparing with other devices in this price segment. Feel free to jump to the section whichever you're most interested in. So let's begin the unboxing. So I've bought this from Samsung shop, and I would also recommend to check out deals there because we get a lot of discounts there. This is the box that we get. There it is. On the side you will see this storage option. So we need to break the seal from here and on this side. You can open this side and then just remove the box from here. So first we have the tablet itself. We'll keep this aside for now. So in the box, we just get some paperwork, a SIM ejection tool. Basically, this is just the Wi-Fi version. So this is to eject the micro SD card slot, and the cable that we get is Type C to Type C, which is a good thing actually, because even in budget tablets, sometimes we get the Type A cable. But yeah, that does support faster charging in like those OnePlus tabs. But yeah, this is Type C to Type C, so this is one of those cables that you can use with other devices as well. Coming to the tablet itself, I'll just open this packaging here. And we can take our tablet out. This is a navy blue color that I went with. As you can see, it already has got fingerprints and smudges here. So if you don't like that, then you can go for the silver color that this has. Overview, we have the power button and the volume rockers here. Note that this does not come with any fingerprint sensor or anything. You can only use the Face ID from this camera, and that is just like pictorial recognition that does not house any Face ID hardware or anything. It is just basic photo recognition. These are pogo pins here for the keyboard, but I really don't know if Samsung has officially have a keyboard for this tablet basically, because they have it for the S9 FE and higher versions like the S9 series basically, but I don't know if it connects to those keyboards, because I tried to look at this in other videos and other reviews, but I didn't see any official Samsung keyboard yet for this. People usually connect it with some third-party USB keyboard. But yeah, I do like the color because it goes with my MacBook Air M2, which is also midnight color. So this would be aligned with that. Quad speakers with this device, and also the Type-C charging port here. I'll just go ahead and boot it up. I must say that in my initial impressions, I like the weight distribution of this tablet. It does not feel too heavy and not even too light or cheap. So it sits right in the midway there. So it's good for a budget tablet, I would say, because this does feel premium to me. Does not feel like a budget tablet at all. You can agree to this, and send diagnostic. Some people do not prefer this uh, due to privacy reasons, but yeah, I'm fine with it. Agree. Easy setup with another device. So actually, I use a Samsung phone, and so I can easily set this up with my Samsung phone. But the thing is that I'm recording with my Samsung phone, so I'll just go ahead and set up manually. And I think the 11-inch size that this tablet comes with is an ideal size, in my opinion. Anything smaller than this would just come closer to your mobile phone size. Anything larger than this would not be too comfortable in your hands to hold. So I reached to this screen where it asked me to copy data from some other device. When I selected don't copy, it took me a second attempt to get to the screen. I'm not sure why. I'll just skip this for now. On this page, you can select your default search engine, and of course, I prefer Google. This has options of face recognition, PIN, password, pattern. I would just go with face recognition. Now it's asking me to get these recommended apps, which I don't recommend at all. So is there an option? Yeah, I just deselected it. Okay, next. I'll skip all these steps. You can later on sign in with your Google ID, so that would basically sync all your apps and all your backups and everything. So we're in this tablet now, and first impressions of the display is that, yeah, the PPI count is low, and I could see some pixels even from this distance. But yeah, I think that is something that you would get used to and not notice it. Of course, it's a budget tablet, and if this is something that bothers you, please go check it out in a store. If this is something that bothers you, then you should jump up to the S9 or S9 FE version, because that has an IPS LCD display with a higher PPI. This one has a TFT display, which goes easy on your eyes, but the quality is not up to that point. But I must say, the budget tablets have come really far now, because like a couple of years back, even this display on budget tablet would have been so like low quality. But this one is a Samsung display and a TFT display, which Samsung has really implemented really well. Yeah, so this was the unboxing and setup. I'll come back with my review also. I'll let you know how this device holds up against all the other devices in this segment, and whether you should go for this tablet or not, depending on your use case. Starting off with the review, I want to address the elephant in the room, that is this 11-inch TFT display. Now, it's not even an IPS LCD display that you get in most tablets in this segment. And also nowadays, most of us use high-end flagship phones which have AMOLED displays. So even I use a flagship phone, that is a Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, which has a dynamic AMOLED display. Switching back and forth from that display to this TFT display does make me notice very often about the difference in these displays. Even the resolution on this display is not that much, and you do see you can notice some pixels even on the UI, and also when you're watching some content. In order to cater to this, I have turned the font on the UI as bold font. So keeping that bold font does make that pixelated view a bit sharper, and also the colors are a bit muted and in the natural tone. You don't get that vivid tone in this tablet's display. But one thing to notice is that a TFT display is more easy on your eyes, so you're less likely to have eye strain than an AMOLED display. Now everyone talks about the 90 Hz on this, which Samsung did a great job, and everyone is applauding Samsung for that. But honestly, since it's a budget tablet and it has a budget processor, and I don't think the UI is tuned that well, so I usually don't notice even that 90 Hz display, because the UI stutters every now and then, and also when you're in apps, sometimes the UI stutters. So the 90 Hz one, you do feel it sometimes, but not very often. So I would say that it's not really consistent. But bottom line is, does this display take away the immersive experience while watching content? No, it does not really. Because to be honest, on streaming platforms, if you see by a fact that all the content which you see on streaming platforms is shot by gear that is actually certified for those streaming platforms. So the original quality itself is really good. So even if the display is not that sharp, you still get that immersive experience while watching content on streaming platforms. The only place where I notice this lack of sharpness is on YouTube, because on YouTube you can not go above and beyond 1080p. And YouTube is basically a raw platform where people just post content from whatever gear they use. And if you're used to watching 4K content on your mobile for those channels, you will notice a difference on this one. So I would suggest that go check it out in a store, because even in the store you can see the lack of sharpness, and on the UI itself, on the icons itself, you can see the pixels on the text. So if that bothers you, then you need to bump up to the S9 FE series or the flagship level S9 series. The next thing I want to address is the performance, because lot of people have the question about performance when it comes to this device, because this is a budget tablet. So based on your use case, you cannot expect much from this tablet. So if your use case is light use, like surfing the web or watching media, it does not include any professional usage or anything which involves video editing or even prolonged gaming, then this tablet is good enough. And surprisingly, while gaming, I was just surprised that even in some high-end games, I did not notice any stutters or lags, which really goes to say that the processor on this is a really good one. I think the only where I see stutters is on the UI, and that is because I think One UI with this tablet, at least it is not that optimized, I think, in my experience. So gaming experience on this has been really good for me, and especially if you're just a light and casual gamer, then this would be more than enough for you. Because if you're gaming just for about like 10 to 15 minutes and not too high-end games and not for long periods of time, then this tablet would be more than enough. But if you're a heavy gamer and if you expect that all the latest games should be supported on this and should play without any stutters, even like Genshin Impact and all those high-end games, then this tablet is not for you. The next thing I want to talk about is the design. I really like that tablets have come a long way when it comes to design, and they don't feel cheap or plasticky anymore. The design feels really premium. It's aluminum here and it's plastic here. But it does not feel cheap at all. It feels good build quality. I noticed that I just dropped it once and I have a dent here. So it's not that durable, but the feel wise, it does feel premium. The weight distribution on this tablet is also done really well. But yeah, prolonged usage might make you feel fatigue in your hands, and your hands might pain for after prolonged usage. But for short usage, if you're using on a stand for some time, then it's really good. The weight distribution is done really well. It does not feel heavy on one side and light on the other. On all sides, it's evenly distributed, which does make it feel like comfortable in your hands. So if you're not using for long periods of time, then you won't notice that you're holding this tablet like you're holding a large device or anything like that. Now here I have the 8 gigs and 128 gigs version, because I think that when it comes to One UI, almost half of the UI gets eaten up by the OS itself. So on this 8 gigs of RAM version also, I see that almost 3 or 4 gigs is almost utilized by the OS. So if you go with the 4 gigs version, then you only have like 2 gigs of usable RAM. And even on this, I feel that even with the 8 gigs of RAM, some apps do load up. Like you can just open like at least 1-2 apps in the background. All of the other apps would load up back again. Like even in normal usage, this device does lag. So if you have multiple apps open, then you would need to close them because the RAM is not well managed. It does have expandable storage though, so you can use a micro SD card slot up to 1 terabytes. But do note that even on the Samsung website, if you see, it's only to store files. It does not allow to store apps. So if you want to use a lot of apps and don't want to install a lot of games or anything on this device, then you would need to go with the 128 gigs version, because 64 gigs is just not enough for internal storage. So the camera quality on this is just decent, and you would need to have ample of light if you do a lot of Zoom calls with your tablet. Now, in my conclusion, this tablet actually really fits in the price segment that it comes with. So if you get a lot of discounts on this, then I think this is one of the most value for money products out there, because at that price segment, you're getting a lot on this device, especially when it comes to the basic stuff. And tablets are at a place where they are not your primary devices, for at least for most people. There are some professional people which use tablets as their primary devices, and for them I would suggest not even to look at this tablet, because for them they should start from the iPad 10 Gen and go forward from there, because performance plays a very big role, and this one, even though it performs really well, it is not that reliable and consistent. So if you have a business, then you should definitely check out the iPad 10, or further than that, like iPad Air is there, and even iPad Pros are there. But if you want a tablet and if you want a large screen device just for light usage like surfing the web or watching multimedia content on OTT platforms, or if you want to buy it for your kid for some basic learning apps, then this tablet would be more than sufficient, considering in mind that the display on this does not cause that much eye strain, and also the performance, even though it's not that consistent and reliable, it's still more than good enough for basic tasks. So that's it. Do let me know in the comment section if you have any questions about this. Thanks. One thing I want to address about note taking is that if you want to use this device as a note taking device, you do not get an S Pen in the box, but you do get third party styluses which are very affordable. But I've used such styluses in the past, and it does not give that full experience of using a stylus basically. And it's a capacitive stylus, so it does not have that much accuracy also. It will get the job done if you just want to scroll through the UI, or if you're doing some productive task and you want to just point it out and you just need a stylus for more convenience, then you can use that capacitive stylus, but not especially for drawing and or coloring or note taking. So if you're an illustrator, or if you're just starting out as an illustrator, then you should go to the S9 FE series, because they come with the S Pen in the box, which is also a really good S Pen. It's not just a basic stylus. Of course, it does not support Bluetooth features, but that stylus is really, like, it gives the accuracy also, and does not have that much lag also. So the experience of using a stylus on that device would be much better on this one. So the experience of using a stylus on that device would be much better than this one.